What we're going to do in today's stream is we're going to explore putting our bodies into uncomfortable situations. And it's a stream that's all about providing a safe space for us to tackle our fears. I kind of want you to feel yourself losing balance and how you can change your reaction and your approach to that situation. We're going to explore some of these postures and movements that we do and feel in ourselves why some positioning is right and some positioning is wrong. And I think that that's like a big part for people who are trying to learn Tai Chi is like, how do I know if I'm in the right position? So I think this is going to kind of shed some light on these things and how you can explore that in yourself. So in ourselves right now, like we're gonna feel where in our bodies we can get easily collapsed. And we're going to do it as if you had somebody else pushing and pulling you, except you're going to do it to yourself. I'll guide you through that because I want you to feel how like these tiny little things can make such a big difference. This is forward walking into bow stance. What's the right positioning for this bow stance and why this groin is so important and what difference it makes for some of these little slight adjustments? Go into your bow stance. Now, the leg that's in the back, take that side hand and push it in and down. Push it in and down. Give yourself some force. If your leg is straight and you push this down, you should feel like there's this whole body pushes forward. If you let that knee bend a little bit, you don't feel that same feeling of your whole body getting pushed forward. But if that knee's in and the groins collapse, you should feel like everything gets pushed in and down. So now, talked about the groin, keeping them open. And what that does is it also makes the back knee open. So if you kind of peek back and draw the line from your eyes to your toes, your back knee should be along that line. Now, do that same thing and push your hip in. You feel that you don't have that collapsing feeling anymore. So slight between like this and like this. It may not even seem like there's a difference, but the feeling is a huge difference. One of the things that I see so many people do when they are doing Tai Chi is they're letting their arms lead the body. So we're going to explore this movement called brush knee and press. All right. This move, so common to let the hands and the arms lead the body. So how do you know if your hands and arms are leading the body? Most people in this move are thinking of a push. So you're here. If somebody took you right at the wrist and pulled you forward, would you go forward and lose your balance and fall? If so, then you've gone too far. You're reaching. So we never want to go beyond keeping our own center. knee over the toe. So here, if there's a pull, my body's centered. I don't feel that same pull as if I were here. You feel that? So here, explore. If you were to get pushed in your hip, do you have the frame to support you? If you were to get pulled in your hand, are you centered enough to still keep yourself stable? We're kind of like trying to experience what it's like when somebody else is like pushing and pulling on you, except we're doing it with ourselves. You're going to feel the loss of balance more here. Remember our walking, we did forward walking, the bow stance, and then we came back and we turned and then we come forward, right? It's this coming back. So many people don't come back correctly. The groin is so crucial. If your knee is collapsed in and you come back, you basically are trapped in your leg here. If you like take a look down at the line from your eyes to your foot, the knee, if it's on the inside, push your hips out this way. You see how easy it is for you to fall. It doesn't take a lot. So if you sit back and that knee is on the inside of the foot and you just push yourself over this way, see if you can keep yourself stable. Now, open up that groin. Same position that you were in. Open up that groin. When you look down, have that knee be in line with your foot. Now, push back. You see how? You can just go with it. You're not trapped. You can go with it. Your body can turn. And then now you can shift your way into the other leg. Did you feel that? Such a small change can make such a big difference. Now we're going to explore in our arms. The biggest mistake is doing too much with the arms. It is so easy to get yourself into a trap where you're thinking so much about an application that you actually lose sight of like where your energy is going. So this is what I see so many people do in Grasping the Sparrow's Tail, is making this big circle. Well, on your way to making that big circle, it doesn't take too much to throw you off balance, right? If you just gone up, the other person's trying to uproot you. If you uproot yourself, you just make it so much easier. It really doesn't take much. The second you overextend, that overextension is going to be used against you. So don't overextend. A very gamer tip as well. Yeah, you know what? Tai Chi tips are life tips. Like, I feel like all of these concepts you can apply to some aspect of your life. You're going to be in non-physical conflict, much more than physical conflict. Very few people will actually ever get into a physical fight, but you're in mental and emotional battles all day, every day, all the time. Work, home, school, internet, and all of these concepts that are true for the martial art of Tai Chi is true for life. How do we not just tense up. So this is the thing that is really hard to do solo. Like when you actually feel somebody moving you around and you move with the other person, you will feel where you tense up because you can feel where you're getting trapped, right? So with motion, as you move with somebody, like you can feel in that motion where you're getting trapped, where you're getting controlled. A lot harder to do solo, but there's certain points where we can kind of pause and explore. So that's what we're doing today. Now, we're going to explore the relationship with our upper and lower body, because this is another big mistake that a lot of people make. Beginners and longtime practitioners make this mistake. This is why doing a little bit of push hands really helps to elevate your Tai Chi game. Because if you've never actually felt yourself getting pushed off balance because of the disconnection in your body, you won't really understand your position, because it might feel totally right when you're doing it by yourself. But when you actually feel somebody pushing you, when you're in those positions, then you will know whether it's right or not. We explored the grasp. Now we're going to explore this part of the movement where we came down, and now we're going to come circle around and then hands together. So the mistake so many people make is this hand goes out too far to the back. So here, you can feel this in yourself so easily. We can exaggerate. We bring it out. Just give yourself a push. Doesn't take much. So, did you feel that? Keep the center line, belly button, chest, eyes in one line, and keep your arm curved and just bring it to where it would naturally go without you moving it. Now, feel that same feeling. You get that push, you can feel that push, you can move with it. Move with that force, whether it's a pull or a push. That because it requires so little of your effort to move with it, doesn't matter, it can happen all day long. I think it's good to put yourself in these experiences where you feel yourself losing balance, to have safe spaces where you can explore that. When you lose balance, there is a sense of fear that sets in, and putting yourself into that fear experience, and how do you respond to it? Like, how do you respond by not tensing up, and just know that if you are centered, then you can move with that, and you'll be okay. What I really like about Tai Chi for its martial art is there's an element of diffusing the aggressive energy. If you can do it well, then it basically removes and dissolves the aggression out of the other person. And I think for me, that's the most useful tool that I learned to apply Tai Chi outside of the physical setting. So many people, I feel like they just don't want to be in a conflict situation. Like you see a conflict situation and then you just want to avoid it. And there's some people who want to punch through it, and then they exhaust themselves. It's really exhausting, mentally exhausting. So you can approach it that way and try to punch your way through, or you can shy away and not deal with it at all, and then you're basically a victim. So how do you just go into it and walk right through it? It only works if you can respond properly, because if your response is tense, then you're not going to be able to dissolve it. You're not going to be able to respond through it. So when you put yourself into a physical situation where you're feeling that fear and wanting to tense up, and realizing that no matter where you're pushed, there's still things that you can do to change. That feeling of you getting control is, I want to pull it back, right? So I feel there's this pull forward, and there's a fear feeling that you feel. Like somebody's grabbed my arm. I'm locked. I don't want to go there, so I want to pull back. Well, in Tai Chi, the idea is, well, I guess I'm going there. And then you can then change. So, it's just a different approach to when you feel fear. Just kind of go with it and see how you can change in that moment, as opposed to trying to resist it. Because it's when you resist, you tense up, then you give more control to the other person, and then you'll probably also compromise your position even more and then get injured. This is the point that I want to explore a little bit more, because now we go into the philosophy. In Tai Chi, we do it physically so that we can understand what the philosophy means, so that we can also apply it to life. Just because you're getting pushed doesn't mean that it's something that you need to resist. You feel yourself getting pushed, and the feeling that you have is you need to resist that push. That the other person is not supposed to be able to push you. So when you feel pushed, you need to resist it. Or that you need to push back against it. So it's that feeling of, I gotta just stand my ground. They're coming in, and I'm just not going to let you push me, or I'm going to push you even harder. So it's this kind of reaction. Both ways really exhausting, really exhausting for the other person, but like really exhausting for you. And it's not something that you can do for very long. The push against you, you don't need to push back against it. Like, and in Tai Chi, we kind of assume that we're going to get pushed all the time. When you do push hands, that's, I mean, basically what you're doing. You're pushing against the other person. But in the forms, you imagine you're getting pushed at every part of your body all the time. And you don't skip a beat, okay? You get pushed here. I'm just going to redirect it and I'm going to go here. Now, people are going to push you. And accept it as a part of life. Like, it's going to happen. It's your reaction to it that is what's going to cause you stress or not. It's not the other person pushing you that should be causing you stress. It's your reaction to that push that will cause you stress. Just assume that the push is going to happen. How can you move with it? If you get scared, if you tense up, if you don't have the right frame that allows you to be able to change, then you get knocked down. If you can actually have a safe space like Tai Chi to practice push hands, to practice and experience what it feels like to have somebody pushing you constantly all the time, and how do you change your body's reaction to that push instead of resisting, just changing? So if you can experience this in your physical body, then you can take that approach to life. You can't be hard, but you're also not limp. So it's understanding that strength doesn't mean that you are hard. You need to be soft so that you can inflate. But when you're soft, it doesn't mean you go limp. So let's say we come back to G. If you're here, you're going to get pushed. Even though you're soft, there's still space here, right? So that first energy, pong, is there all the time. It never leaves you. Even if you're doing the other energies, there's still always pong. It's that inflation. So when I say armpit, inflate, that's that feeling, always inflated everywhere. When we worked, the very first thing we did today was in bow stance. Push yourself down. Do you collapse? If you collapse when you're getting pushed down, that means that you're not open here. You're not open here. There's no pong here. If you open here, now push yourself down. You won't collapse. Pong here. Pong here.